Just over 50 miles to Texas, Frank. We could cross the state line.
I'm not going anywhere with you.
Frank found rectangular lights for that 44.
I hear when you work. Sounds like another voice.
Yeah, what does it say?
It's an old voice. You don't hear it, and sometimes I think you're out of tune.
You sound like your grandmother.
Could you tell me a story?
I dropped stories. Like a ship drops cargo in a storm.
You could tell me a story about when you worked in Oklahoma City.
Okay. I quit school, joined the Army, and when I got back from Germany, I worked in a scrap metal yard where the foreman pressed us flatter than the cars. We all had families, so we had to work, but he was hard on us. I talked back to him one time and I got fired. Your mother, me, and Franklin, we moved back to Vice. That was before you were born. Most of the Moses family left their people and walked on down the road, and no one ever saw them again.
Hey, Flutie, when's that friend of yours coming by?
Who?
Swallow.
When you're not around?
You ain't got any friends anyway.
Yes, I do.
Who's that boy keeps driving by?
I don't know.
What's his name, Frank?
I don't keep track of losers.
His name is Jess.
Oh, yeah. Tessman's son.
Jess Tessman. What a name.
Your teacher stopped by the garage this afternoon. Says that you don't talk in class. Says you run back to your chair.
I don't know. The words buckle in my tongue every time I try to speak.
Everybody talks, Flutie.
Sometimes you don't.
What do they want?
I don't know. Probably ain't got nothing better to do.
You take the truck out at night?
I earn my keep. I take the truck when I want to.
If I hear there's any parts missing over at Fort Supply.
What are you gonna do about it? Huh?
Franklin, you're gonna be in that garage all your life.
If I go back to school, I'll be in the same grade as my sister.
Then talk to the principal.
I learned what I need to know from you.
Then I'll talk to the principal.
When did you put your foot in school, huh?
You're gonna regret this, Frank. Get your hands on me. Get your hands on me.
Stop that noise up there! Die machen mich verrückt!
We study geology.
Geology. Rocks and the formation of rocks and the land.
You should really think about our program.
Where?
We're at Southwestern Oklahoma State University. It's in Weatherford, not 80 miles from Vici. And we go on field trips, like to the Great Salt Plains near Jet, Oklahoma. Here.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
What is it?
That's ammonite. Used to be in the ocean when the ocean completely covered the land. Those are the kinds of things we study.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, what's he doing here?
Maybe he's trying to get back in school.
I'll give you a ride home, Flutie.
I'm gonna miss the bus.
This wind is really strong today, Flutie.
Yeah, it hurts my scar.
I remember when you cut your face and tongue. I can still see that scar. It must have hurt you to talk.
I was running and fell and cut my face on the edge of a cistern. My mother flew in her truck to the doctor. He held me down, sewed up my tongue and jaw under a bright light. Maybe the air will be my friend.
What's the matter, Flutie? You're quiet.
Couldn't talk in class.
Flutie, do you remember the ice storm when the school bus ran off the road? Beatrice got in trouble. You were the only one that saw that coyote run across the road. The bus swerved to miss it, went in the ditch. You remember that?
Dad came with his tow truck and pulled us out, and we all stood shivering by the road.
And then you stood up in front of the principal and told him what happened, told him it wasn't Beatrice's fault. She'd done all she could. Do you remember that, how you talked, Flutie?
The words feel like a hot skillet on my tongue, Ruther.
You always at Ruther's. She and Luther own all that land behind their house. It doesn't mean she owns you. She's just a neighbor, not your fairy godmother.
Oh.
I wasn't going that fast.
Grasslands, glass mountains, salt plains, Weatherford, Vici. I read a book, Swallow, about a girl named Philomela who was raped by her brother-in-law, and he cut out her tongue so she couldn't tell, so she wove a beautiful tapestry. And her sister Procne knew that her husband had raped her sister, so in a rage, she killed the son, chopped him into pieces, put it in a stew, and fed it to the husband that raped his sister. And then she went back to her sister Philomela, and the husband followed, and they turned into birds and flew away.
Wow.
How do you talk to people, Swallow?
Just open my mouth and talk, like you just did. I better get back to waiting tables. I'll catch you later, okay?
All right, Flutie, get in and try to start it up. Rev it! I'm gonna take it for a test run, all right? Come over, Flutie. Get over.
Going home. Well, it's been a long, long journey, and I'm tired of walking in this old world below. And I'm ready for my final destination. It's gonna be a celebration when I get home.
Everything seems to be all right.
What do I owe you?
Nothing this time.
Thanks.
Ah, this little thing. Thought it was never gonna run again. Hey, you got your homework for the science project done yet?
No.
That teacher's gonna call on you.
My topic today is salt. You are the salt of the earth. But if salt loses its savor, how can it become salty again? It's good for nothing but to be thrown out. Matthew 5:13. In the Old Testament, there was a salt covenant. A covenant is a promise. God made a promise. There will be a covenant of salt forever before the Lord and you. With all your offerings, offer salt.
Is Flutie, she going out with Tessman?
I don't know. Why?
I don't know. I'm just curious.
Curious?
Curious.
You want to get with my sister, don't you? Yeah, you want to get with her, don't you? Stay away from my sister now. Stay away from her. Down, boy.
Oh, yeah. Bring it on. Bring it on.
What you gonna do, huh?
You want her? Hear that?
Huh?
Hey! Watch out for that rack, boys. Turbo wouldn't want his Land Cruiser falling down.
Out of western Oklahoma where the wheat fields grow, people are friendly and the crime rate's low. But there's one problem and I think you should know. Out of western Oklahoma how the wind can blow. That wind, it's at it again. That low down, dirty, rotten, lousy wind. The weatherman said it wouldn't last too long. But this time, brother, let me tell you he's wrong. That wind, hear him scream and moan, rocking me to sleep in my mobile home. Won't stop even if I say please.
Where's the money from all the oil pumps on the land? Not a lot to ever see it.
I gotta get back to the Ford.
That wind, at it again.
If you take that ornament, I'm gonna tell her you did it.
Keep your mouth shut.
Leave her alone.
What? Keep your nose on your face, Spoon. Come on, let's go.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
The 60 here goes straight through to Fairview.
You can, but the road turns right at Chester, so don't miss your turn.
Okay. I don't think I'll order anything. I'd better get on the road before the sun goes down.
Where's she going? I think she was going to Texas. Maybe she was Philomela, driving her car like a bird without a tongue.
I don't know.
Well, I didn't hear her voice.
I did.
Franklin, is your dad here? I need him to look at my car before I head to Ponca.
What's it doing?
It's cutting out when I give it gas. I don't know. When will he be back?
Well, he's at the cafe. You want me to look at it?
No, I'll be back. I'm not leaving till after school.
What? You don't think I can do it?
Look, I know we've had a hard time.
No, I had a hard time. You had a red pencil. F, F, and F.
You never even tried to do your work.
Maybe I tried in my own way.
You never would listen when I tried to help you with
There's the
things.
garage in Woodward. It's on the way.
Fine. Make me late.
That was hard to hear.
There was nothing I could do to pass.
What do you do when you don't get what they say?
It's her job to teach.
I could have learned better.
You learned, just not what she taught. I'm not going back.
You're staying if you're there till you're 30.
I do what I want. I'm tired of being the oldest in school.
A lot of those kids are older. They have to help with the haying, so they miss a year now and then. They cannot always stay in their room with a box of rocks or hide in the library reading books.
You finish high school, you go to college, and you learn accounting.
They cannot always be washing volcanoes.
Then we buy the garage. Hampton will sell. Then we wouldn't always be operating at a loss.
Once she was in the library so quiet, they didn't know she was there. They locked the school. It was getting dark before she realized that everyone else was gone.
Hard to eat with a hangover, isn't it, Frank?
It's hard to eat with someone in your face all the time. I'll leave Visay. I'll go to Fort Sill and I'll join the Army.
How you gonna make it in the Army?
You did.
You couldn't even get up this morning.
Get out of here, Frank! You're going to get hurt. He has a gun in his room. He gets so mad.
So I hear you can take apart engines and get them running.
I hear you got a boyfriend in Tologa.
I can help you in the garage.
What do you know about engines?
I know that sometimes they don't work and you can get them running again.
You gotta know what you're doing.
I could hold the wrench.
You can get dirty.
I could just sit here.
You can come to the car show with me.
The first time I saw this car was in a field. A tree had grown up through it, a sapling. Wow. I pulled the car in half to get it out, and I've been working on it ever since.
That's sweet.
How many cars do you have? Too many.
Hi, Franklin.
Hi, girls. A big fire.
Yeah.
Tips and cows.
Yeah.
Is that what we do? Have you guys ever been?
No. You know, I pushed my dog down the Does that count? What's the matter with him anyway?
Got from our dad. There's something ahead of him on that road that he just can't get around. He's eating dust.
You want to come to the Cedar Shack with me? You ever been?
Who hasn't?
How about Friday night?
Only if Flutie can come. And if you don't talk to every girl in the place.
Come on.
Swallow? Swallow? Oh, gross.
I haven't worked on a car like this before.
It's running rough.
Well, we can go for a ride if you want to. Where'd you get this car?
Former husband had money.
Franklin is getting married.
Swallow?
Geneva.
She's older than Frank.
2 years.
Where'd she come from anyway?
Some dirt road between Visay and Woodward. She went to live with her father for a little while, but now she's back and, well, Franklin knew her in high school.
He just met her.
1 month. That's all I knew your mother in Germany.
Back already? The wedding's hardly over.
I'm just here to go to the salvage yard.
Which one?
Cleo Springs.
I gotta pick up a right door handle and a fender for that car Jared's working on.
And I got some parts to pick up.
Cleo Spring, that's near the salt plains. I found it on the map. It's nearly a day's trip there and back. I'm gonna go get the map.
What a clomper.
I've never been that far from Visay. Look, Franklin, Highway 412 east past Woodward, then 8 north past Cleo Springs, 64 east, the Great Salt Plains. I want to go there. The man from college, he talked about...
No!
It's only 20 miles under the Kansas line.
Jared's wife's from Kansas.
Flutie always wants to go to Texas, so I thought I'd go to Kansas.
You had to lift another sweatshirt like the one you took from her?
Yeah, I borrowed it.
Indians came to the salt plains. Then settlers came and took wagon loads of salt.
You could go to Haskell Institute at Lawrence, Kansas, Franklin.
In World War II, the salt plains was a strafing and bombing range. Now you can dig for salt crystals.
Listen to the dictator.
We're gonna take her, Franklin.
Now the salt plains belongs to the air and to the birds.
Shut up, Flutie.
Hey, what's wrong with Martin's truck?
Won't start.
Well, how long are you gonna let it sit there?
I've been looking at it.
What'd you find?
Nothing yet.
You check to see if the distributor's turning?
Spoon did.
What did he find?
It's not turning.
Well, check to see if the drive gear on the distributor is stripped or the shear pin.
It did.
And the timing gear?
It's stripped.
Huh. Then we need to tear the engine down and replace the timing gear. I'll help you pull the camshaft so we can...
No. You don't have to do that. I'm gonna break the cam gear off. It's gonna save several hours. It's a press fit. If you heat up that cam gear to a certain temperature, you can just tap it on.
Where'd you hear that?
I read it in the information that comes with the timing kit. Nothing you can learn about in school.
Look, Franklin, the glass mountains are on the way.
I ain't got time. Just look at them as we pass, okay? I got a wife waiting in the trailer park.
There's a turnoff. Stop, Franklin.
I can't. We gotta get to the salvage yard.
I want to see the mountains.
I didn't bring my overnight bag, Flutie. I gotta get back.
So what'll it be? Glass mountains or salt plains?
Neither.
Find anything?
No. I'm gonna tell Jared to come back to decide what handle he wants. You?
Yeah.
All right, let's go then.
I want to see the salt plains. You said I could.
I didn't say nothing.
You drove right by the glass mountains.
I ain't got time. Geneva's fixing flapjacks.
Turn around, Frank. Turn this truck around, Frank! Now she's gonna have a bruise.
The salt crystals? They're made from selenite.
This place smells like manure.
Shape up, Franklin.
You've got a bruise. Does it hurt?
Sometimes it still throbs.
I could have taken you.
You don't go anywhere, Jess. You should have seen it. The Great Salt Plains, where the ocean dried up and left its salt.
I would have taken you if I'd known you wanted to go.
The ocean is still here, underground. Well, they pump brine water. When the school bus passes, I can smell the ocean. I can hear it hiss.
Now you get a job at the plant.
I'm not going anywhere until my bruise heals.
It was the parking lights on the 40 Ford. First one was gone, and then the other one went missing. Then you found one at a salvage yard and said you'd find another. Then you sell me the parts and say you didn't want to, but I insisted.
I had to buy those parts. And one of the parking lights doesn't match, but nobody's gonna know anyway.
Well, I'm gonna know. Get off him!
Stop! You're gonna hurt him!
Police department, break it up, break it up! Franklin, I've been looking for you.
I never seen him so mad. What happened?
Franklin stole the parking lights from your father. Sheriff's been at our trailer.
Back! Get back! Put your head.
Court call, State of Oklahoma versus Franklin Moses. Mr. Moses, you want to come forward, sir? Step right up here. Mr. Moses, I'm going to hand you an information which alleges you committed the crime of larceny from a business. That's your true and correct name?
Yes, sir.
Do the victims wish to proceed in this case? Okay. I'll let you know when you're charged with a crime here in Oklahoma, Mr. Moses, you have certain constitutional rights. The first of those rights is to have an attorney to represent you. If you want to have an attorney, you should hire one. If you can't afford one, one can be appointed for you. This is a misdemeanor today. You need to enter a plea of not guilty, guilty, or no contest. How do you plead today, sir?
Guilty, I guess.
Okay, Mr. Combs, you got a recommendation for the state?
Your Honor, I would recommend 30 days in the county jail since this is his first offense.
What do you have to say for yourself, Mr. Moses?
I didn't mean to, you know. I had the parts. My dad insisted on buying them. I couldn't tell him that I hadn't paid for them yet, and I don't deserve to be...
I think that's about all I need to hear on this. Mr. Moses, it appears that you just got caught in the Red Sea in this deal. Court's going to sentence you to 30 days in the county jail. Sheriff, come take this man away.
Das ist seine Schuld. Franklin has been sentenced to 4 weeks in jail at Taloga because you pressed charges.
Well, not as much as I could have. Franklin won't be feeding me anymore with my own parts.
Do you think jail will help? Now he's got a record. He stole parts. Get out of the kitchen, out of the house!
And he would have kept on if I hadn't stopped him. First it was the car parking lights, then more new parts, next a car. Maybe 4 weeks in jail will make him think.
It'll turn him against us.
Well, you had nothing to do with it. He knew you were on his side.
You didn't even recognize your own parts Franklin bought you. I thought they'd look familiar to you. Then you wouldn't have to turn against them.
Franklin is the one that turned against me.
We'll lose him.
If I haven't already.
It hasn't been easy here.
Why'd you stay?
Do people know what they're in for?
You never went back. Why didn't you ever want to go visit Germany?
I didn't miss it enough.
The land and the people, they're all a part of you. You never left Germany. That's why you don't need to go back.
Flutie, you want out of that house? You've got to talk if you want to go to school. Open your mouth. Look at the sky. Talk to the clouds, for God's sake.
My family never listens to me. They never give me a chance to talk.
You call more attention to yourself when you don't talk. Oh, Flutie, Flutie. Flutie. Flutie, Flutie, what are we going to do with you?
Your ice cream sandwich looks like one of those cars pressed flat in a scrap metal yard.
Yeah.
How can you still work on that car?
It's to forget Franklin.
How can you forget?
Because he can't forget.
Your mother told me that I could move into Frank's room while he's in jail. I don't want to be in the trailer alone.
When did she say that?
Whoa, no. I'll take the truck over there and help you move, Geneva.
Even your dad working on the Ford?
She's worked her way into Franklin's room while he's still in jail.
What's wrong with that? Marry me, Flutie.
Could I go to Texas if we did?
It's the same as it is here. There's nothing out that way but an RV park.
What's RV?
Return to Vici.
Look, Jess. The grain elevator. Looks like a white ship today.
For someone who doesn't like to talk, you sure have a lot to say.
I'm thinking about my science project.
You gotta work with what you got here, Flutie. Take what you got and do the best you can with it.
I want something. I see it when a deer jumps a fence. Graceful as if it took no effort at all.
Deer get skinned. Think of that knife splitting your neck.
What happened to your ma, Jess?
She got tired of being poor. She left my father to himself when I was young.
Well, did you hear that professor? He kept saying, geology, geology, geology. I want to go to Southwestern Oklahoma State University.
If only you could speak in class.
Franklin is restless in jail. He cried when I was there. You won't even go to visit.
Well, I can't stand to see him there.
He hit the wire window between us in a rage. I could have torn that place apart.
He got a lenient sentence. He won't be in there long, unless you tear up the place.
Your mother's also furious because she got stopped by the sheriff again. She has to go to court.
Not allowed to drive. Who do they think they are?
Well, you got a string of tickets. If you need to go someplace, one of us can take you.
I'm not riding with Flutie. She's slower than the wheat growing. Get a job, Flutie. Your father has to pay Spoon overtime at the garage while Frank's in jail. He's hired Jared full-time, too. Geneva has a job at the land deed office. Dry babysitting. Their families in Vici with more kids than they know what to do.
How do you waitress, Swallow? If I worked at the Vici Cafe, I'd spill all the mashed potatoes all over the customers. I'd forget their orders. How do you skate through the all-you-can-eat Friday night catfish and fries?
Honey, you don't have to worry about being alone. Old Dog Blue will protect you till I'm home. If anybody comes snooping around, Old Dog Blue is gonna stare him down. Honey, you don't have to worry.
Hey, how long you been out?
Long enough to get here. Where's Geneva?
She's upstairs.
I see Flutie still moves around in the kitchen like a hatchet.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing him back. Thanks.
Yeah. Come on over here, Geneva.
Come on.
What do you know about volcanoes?
I know you gotta give a report on volcanoes if you're gonna graduate.
Looks like a cow udder you got upside down. Who's ever seen a red volcano anyway?
You want to see red, Franklin? Try farming on an old tractor, spilling oil all over the field and making one trip after another to the garage until Hampton offers you a job.
You had to walk uphill both ways?
I'll be home between 3 and a quarter to 4. So honey, there's no need to lock the door. If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times before.
I shouldn't have asked you to dance.
Your foot?
My ear. I can't hear the rhythm.
What happened?
I was standing next to my dad, and he shot his rifle. It was an accident, but it burst my eardrum.
It's easier with me.
I feel like a harvester's driving through my room.
Hold on, Flutie.
How does the moon stay in the sky without falling off?
Don't lie down, Flutie. You'll just feel worse. Come on. Come and stand by the window. Look out across the field and find a point and just stare at it. I just slept on the floor.
Oh, jeez. Flutie, what do you want?
I want to die.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story instead. You can't drink, Flutie. It's a suck hole you get into and you can't get out. Half of our people are stuck in that hole. You go there and you never come back.
You've got to forgive Franklin. Otherwise, the kitchen will have knives for walls. What did you do at the fort?
Sold it.
What?
Everything's on a migration trail.
Why?
It just is. Maybe to survive.
How's school, Flutie?
I gotta give a science report if I'm gonna graduate.
You can do it, Flutie. There are scholarships for students with Indian blood. Did you know that?
We haven't done anything but shovel over our trail. My dad sold a Ford so I can start college. But what are my chances under this dome of heaven? I hear Geneva talking with the wind blowing through her teeth. I want Geneva and Franklin to stop fighting. I want to finish my volcano. My teacher says I won't graduate if I don't give the report.
There's no doubt in my mind but what you can do that, Flutie.
Flutie, are you ready to give your report? Come on.
Submarine volcano cones form on the ocean floor, like dust balls under a bed, and seawater seeping down molten rock, and violent steam and ash and water flies into the air. Violent steam blast. The vicious lava violently steams, erupting on the seafloor like pillow masses.
Tried to talk, I have tried to fly. The air is full of wind, the wind is full of air. It's hard to talk, and it's hard to fly. How can you rise with so much air? Hold me down.
What's wrong? Flutie, du machst mich verrückt.
I couldn't talk in class. The science teacher won't let me pass.
Das werden wir noch sehen.
She built that volcano. She wrote the report. She did her work. I want her out of here.
But her oral report was the final grade.
You know she can't open her mouth.
She's not going to know how to function if she doesn't know how to talk in front of
But
people.
she did the report. You teachers did nothing but write Franklin either.
Nothing but try to help your children.
You never gave him a chance. Did you guys ever give him a chance? I want her graduating, and that's final.
Frank here?
No. He and Geneva are at the trailer.
Geneva is not Frank.
What's the matter?
Well, they got in a fight last night at the Cedar Shack. She flew off in a rage with another man. And Frank got in a fight and was beat up.
You all right?
Yeah, I drove him to the trailer last night. This morning, she's there and he's not. You want to ride with me?
I've never been in your car before.
So you dating that guy? What's his name?
Jess?
Yeah.
No, we're just friends.
Well, you've been with him a lot lately.
I'm getting ready to leave.
Where?
Southwestern Oklahoma State University.
I wanted to go to school there.
Why didn't you?
I thought they'd laugh at me.
Why?
My lamp.
No one even notices that.
Because I stay in my car all the time.
You work in the garage, too. I like what you've done with your car.
Driving down the road on a Wednesday night, summer breeze blowing through my hair. All these feelings in the air, they could take me anywhere. The moonlight shining across the field caught my eye, so I failed to yield. And the fireflies dance to the tune of the moon.
You closed up too soon.
I hitchhiked back to Visay. Crashed and burned at college. I could marry Jess.
Don't.
If you marry me, you could have a house. I mean, we'd have to live with my father at first, but you'd have a place of your own. You could fry eggs and sit with coffee. Franklin's wife could come over and you could rock your babies together and talk.
I don't think Geneva's gonna make it to motherhood. I hear her and Franklin fighting. She's already looking down the road.
Saw Geneva with her mom moving things out of your trailer.
I shouldn't have married her. Geneva knew it too. I saw you at the wedding. I was supposed to be watching Geneva walk down the aisle. You even came to the reception afterwards.
You know, we used to live in that corner house over by the trailer park. We had this car that kept running after my dad would turn it off. The engine would cough even after we were in the house. I miss those noises.
When I was a boy, my dad used to drive his tractor into town. He let me drive his truck behind him, following him. And I was so little I could barely see over that steering wheel. Neighbor called and said he couldn't see anybody in that truck. Asked my dad if he was training the truck to follow him into town. Some nights I hear engines turning. I can't sleep. They come across the wind. I hear the parts out of tune more than I can hear the parts working as they should. I like those noises, those out-of-sync noises. I see farmers' windmills. They look like cooling fans turning in the fields. That sounds stupid, I guess.
Mr. Carpenter told me the delivery man quit. He said I could drive the van back from Woodward.
Lame!
I think it's cool. Maybe I could ride with you sometime.
And I don't have to sell anything. The selling's been done. I just have to drive the products from Woodward, keep things stocked, refill the racks, rearrange things, dust. I'll stack saltines, cheddars, Triscuits, wheat thins, honeygrams, pretzels, fig Newtons, oatmeal crunch.
Flutie Moses, biscuit queen.
I'll get fired. My mother will scream at me. I'll get fined. I still owe money from my shipwreck at college. My parents won't pay my fine. Maybe I'll go to jail.
I'll borrow money from my father and pay your fine. I won't let you go to jail. We could have a wedding.
I don't want to marry
You
you.
said you didn't want a lot of people. We're just going to the church.
No!
I paid your fine.
It's too late. The minister's waiting at the church.
I feel like I'm all tied up. I can't marry you.
You've got to do it, Flutie. There's nothing else.
There's always something else. Just because you got married doesn't mean I have to.
Do you know what it's like on your own? The wolves will get you.
I don't see any wolves. They're all in your fairy tales.
You don't know what you're doing. How many boys you think will ask you to marry them?
Get in the truck.
No.
You're on the spoon, are you? What a prize! Deaf and dumb!
Arthur! You're coming back here!
What are you going to study?
Geology and education.
She needs a loan for 1 year to start with. I'll put up the collateral.
Okay. And you're willing to co-sign?
I will indeed.
Okay. I think we could probably help you on that. I'll get you an application.
There you are.
Thank you, ladies. I have you taken care of, and you do good in school.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks, Turbo.
Thank you.
What about here?
Yeah, it's a slight crack. We have to give a report about ourselves in freshman English class.
You can get up in front of the class. I'll tell your professor it isn't easy for you.
Well, we're continuing our speeches, and I'm really excited to hear what each of you has to say by way of introduction of self.
Hi, my name is Christine Faulkner. I am an only child and live with my mom.
My heritage is Scotch-Irish, if you can imagine putting those two together.
I was raised by a single mother. I had 3 wonderful little sisters. My father passed away when I was younger.
My family is predominantly Irish, and it's my dream to go back to Dennett to Ireland to visit my ancestors' home.
My real name is Javier Jesus. I'm originally from Guyman, Oklahoma, and my heritage is of Central American background.
I have 3 brothers, Josh, Tyler, and Zach, and a mom and a dad, and I came from England or somewhere, I don't know.
My name is Florence Moses, but I'm called Flutie. My father's Cherokee, my mother's German. My last name is Moses. My father's father went to boarding school, and whatever his name it became Moses. Maybe it was my father's grandfather who'd been given the new name. My father didn't tell me what I wanted to know. But I remember him returning from hunting. I remember him skinning a deer and dividing it into parts. And he always gave me a little scrap.
Well?
The room shook with me, but it's done. Thank you.
Turn this truck around, go back the way you came. Hold on tight, come out new again. Rattle my bones like a truck on a frozen road. Scratching my back, licking my ear, grinding gears on a downgrade into fear. Pain soaring through me like spikes of despair. Mean as a red volcano spewing rocks into the air. Rattle my bones like a truck on a frozen road. Scratching my back, licking my ear, grinding gears on a downgrade.
Careful!
Sit down there. Good.
Here's your medication, Frank.
I don't want that!
Oh, Frank, you get your bandages wet and you have to go through wrapping your leg and foot all over again.
Frank, you've got to take these pills for infection and circulation.
I want the pain pills! All right, go get my pain pills!
And leave that foot up there. You know what the doctor said.
F the doctor, all right? F, and F! Don't look at me. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Leave me
Can you give me a glass of water, Flutie? These pills feel like they're stuck in my throat.
Get it yourself.
You can walk out of here. I can't walk.
You can too.
Where am I gonna go?
The garage, Franklin. Cars are waiting for you. They live again when you get through with them.
Thanks, Flutie.
Generally speaking,
What do you do in geology?
I take notes on rocks as the professor talks. Sedimentary, igneous, selenite. That's the main semi-transparent rock crystal from the salt plains. The name means stone of the moon.
Basalt, intrusive and extrusive igneous. Granite and rhyolite are essentially the same rock. Chemically, they're the same thing. But granite is what's called an intrusive igneous rock. It has very large crystals, and rhyolite is an extrusive rock. It's devoid of those crystals.
My semester's over.
You here all summer? You going back in the fall?
I've been looking at schools that need teachers probably all over Oklahoma.
You don't have to go anyplace else, Flutie. Your family's here.
I heard that from Jess.
Well, now you're hearing it from me.
It's Franklin. He's on the rampage again.
Roars all the time.
I think it's the medication.
And the beer.
Frank, you have got to stop drinking when you're taking those pain pills.
I can't quit either one. I hurt all the time.
I can't live in this house with you anymore. Let me go! Let me go!
She can't wait on you forever, Frank. Frank! No! No, Franklin! No! No! Dad! Dad! No, Franklin! No!
Oh, what is it? What?
How's Elsa?
She just sits in this chair where the sofa used to be, as if she'll hear his voice.
Maybe some of us women could come and talk to her.
Swallow stays with her sometimes and Ruther stops by. They just sit there together. I never hear them say anything. Church women washed the curtains and someone patched up the bullet holes in the wall.
The wife and I thought we could take you to dinner at Ceiling sometime.
I don't think she's up to that yet. If Franklin was here, he could figure out what's wrong with it.
I woke this morning with a dream. A volcano was erupting. Franklin was trying to pull me underwater. He opened his mouth and he had no tongue. He couldn't say who he was, why he left us like this.
If I hadn't threatened to leave him, what do you do with the emptiness? It's gonna take over anyway. Why didn't we do something? All three of us were there.
I'd like to go with him.
No, don't say that. Don't say that, Flutie. Franklin gave up too soon. He was too impatient. He wouldn't listen to anything. Look what he did to himself.
Why did you yell at him? You knew he always just wanted to be around you fixing cars.
Everything's a struggle. Nothing is easy. We just have to keep on going.
How's Mrs. Moses?
Just thinking about Franklin.
Sorry to hear about his accident.
Sorry about your brother.
See you around, Flutie.
See ya.
So what do you think about this?
I think you should use a fly swatter. So, why doesn't anyone call you by your first name?
Spoon's easier.
What is your first name, anyway?
You know.
I haven't heard anyone call you anything but Spoon.
Douglas.
Douglas Spoon?
That's it. Florence Moses.
Florence Jean Moses. Named after my grandmother. I think I'm just gonna call you Spoon.
I'll tell you what, Florence. Just bring me a wipe rag.
It's sticking out of your back pocket.
Huh? Every mechanic needs a wipe rag.
I remember I can talk. I'm beginning to talk. But I'm still scared when I'm in front of class. But I'm beginning to feel what I can do. I want to come back and teach all the students who can't talk. I'll place them in front of the class, like candles that cannot be blown out by the western Oklahoma wind.